on the edge of fate. Steel bars loaded, no time to wait. 8 skills only make them count. Every choice treats the battle so loud. The same G-shores to the JC. The past still calls, remembers me. Heroes rise where the batters flew. Guild Wars lives reforged and new. No grind, no change, no endless strife. Just tactics, timing, perfect lives. This is war, the way it's meant to be. Player and destiny. Reforging fire, reforging flame. Guild Wars calling out my name. Fast hands, sharp mind, victory blaze. Lift and light on YindyPlayZ. Reforging Cantha, stand and fight. Oath to soul with modern pride. If you're ready, hit the gate. This war is life to be Builds collide in a flash of light. Interrupts land in just the right time. No cool down, waste no second try. Beat the field or say goodbye. Allies fall, then rise again. Heroes answering my command. Every fool, every hard-fought win is why we're back where it all began. No autopilot, no easy road. Every victory and not all. Sharpen skills, rewrite the phase. Reforge today on YindyPlayZ. It's reforging fire, reforging flame. Guild Wars calling out my name. From factions past to battles today. This war goes live on YindyPlayZ. Skill, strategy, heart and soul. Classic give and low. Total control. If you hear the voice, you know the right. Guild Wars Reforged. We trade today. Walls remembered, new stories made. Reforged legends gather
Hello, lovely people. How are we all doing this Thursday evening? And welcome to yet another Yindy stream, the second one of the year this time. And yes, starting the year as I kind of mean to go on, in that I plan on doing quite a bit of retro streaming this year. So that is kind of a thing I have just noticed. I am slightly ski wonk on my green screen. Let me just fix this. Again, the usual Yindy polish. There we go. Get rid of that. Thank you very much. So, why Guild Wars Reforged in particular? Well, like I said, I was playing Final Fantasy. I've been going through a bit of an MMO kick, and I partly blame Josh Rice Hayes for this. But I am very recently, Guild Wars, the trilogy on Steam, got, Guild Wars 1 in general, got completely rebooted, so to speak. I say completely rebooted. It got upgraded to the Reforged edition, which is kind of what we're playing just now. So it was playable on Steam Deck before, and I had actually jumped back into Guild Wars previously. But since then, they've added controller support, they've kind of modernized some quality of life sort of things, and decided to charge 20 quid for it now going forward. But thankfully, everyone that had the original trilogy on Steam, also benefits from said upgrade. Or indeed even had Guild Wars from back in the day, which I also had, because Guild Wars holds a very special place in my heart in that it was probably the first. I'm not going to say MMO because people get quite contentious with this. Guild Wars 1 is not an MMO, it is an online RPG. It was the first online RPG I was allowed to play, mainly because it didn't involve a subscription model when I was a teenager and had to get it from my mum. And this opened the door for me being able to play other MMOs, such as Warcraft, such as Final Fantasy XI, in my formative kind of teenage years. So I owe a lot of debt to Guild Wars. Particularly, I think I got into it round about my final year of school, and I think this was where there was like two camps in the school. There was the Guild Wars players and the OG original Warcraft players in my year at school. And then when I went off to drama camp, because let's face it, of course I did a drama summer school when I left high school. We then moved, a lot of people that I was at that summer school with also played Guild Wars, and that was kind of a thing. Having said all that, I never actually managed to finish it. I even started a playthrough with a character, with a friend of mine, Mark, who has since then gone on to be quite a successful actor. He was even in the National Theatre production of Frankenstein, along with Benedict Cumberbatch and all that. And I think he's off doing things. I actually messaged him just the other day to let him know that finally after 20 years, I jumped back onto one of our old characters, and I finally finished Prophecies. It's taken me 20 years to get to the end of the first campaign. So that's how effective a Guild Wars player I've been. I have had multiple level 20 characters, but I never got to the end of any of the campaigns. But earlier this week, booting it, my Final Fantasy 14 subscription lapsed, and I thought, you know what, rather than reactivate that because it's payday tomorrow, I will jump on Guild Wars. I must have been close to the end with my main character. Turns out I was about 3 missions away from the end. I ploughed through it, took me a couple of attempts to get onto the final mission, and oh my god, that final mission, I think it was Sunday, I thought, right, it's early morning, tell you what I'm going to do, I'm going to jump on for an hour, smash out this final mission, complete Prophecies, message Mark, let him know, it's done, I've carried the old guild flag to the end. Yeah, the problem with Guild Wars 1, particularly, is that the missions, the actual kind of like story content missions, can especially if you're soloing them, could easily be an hour long plus, and there's no mid-mission checkpoints. And oh my god, they are brutal. I was playing a ranger, and I'm sure veteran kind of Guild Wars players might spot where I was going wrong, particularly with the final mission, because it turns out there's these little groups of imps who summon down devastating AoE on both you and the party. Now the game does have this system where you can hire henchmen, and later on, or you can, I think it's the henchmen early on, and then you can customize other party members. We'll get to that in a second. But in Prophecies, you can hire henchmen to come on the missions with you. Now, the default henchmen, they're good enough to get through most of the early game, but they really begin to struggle with the later game content, which I was on. So even though I had a party of 8, me and 7 henchmen, I couldn't really tell. Basically, they had two options: stand over there in a big blob, or follow me and be stuck to my hip. The imps, on the other hand, just went, danger puddle, three of them at once, summon meteors down, wiped the entire party again and again and again and again. I started the last mission thinking I'll just one attempt, a couple if I mess up, that'll be fine, I'll be done by lunchtime. 10 o'clock at night, I must have been in the high teens in terms of attempts, like easily 17, 18 attempts trying to get through the final mission of Prophecies, and I was tearing my hair out / off. So I went to the Guild Wars 1 Discord forums, and I went, can somebody please help me? The game's too hard. And literally within a minute, like not even a minute had elapsed, somebody messaged going, normal or hard mode? Normal. Wait there, I'll be right there. Turns out what I should have done. Once you get to level 10, the North expansion opens up, which I never had. It came out after I stopped playing. But apparently they revamped the kind of henchman party system for that, so your character creates a party of like custom heroes. So it's not just you in the later game, it's you plus a party that you customize. And this guy had obviously had his own custom party with everyone kind of maxed out. And yeah, he just completely ran me through the last level and managed to finally after 20 years, beat Prophecies. So Prophecies is done. Now, I have started Prophecies multiple times with multiple friends, family members. My sister had a bit of a playthrough. The characters that I've got on screen just now. Now, this isn't my original account that I was playing through and thus finished Prophecies on. This is my other account that I got through Steam that is also linked to my Guild Wars 2 account. Which is a bit annoying, but never mind. So I do have two accounts. So I've got Gonazle Laberian, who is my kind of playthrough of Prophecies that I've been doing with Tavares, because I've been dragging him through this as well. I remade one of my old sort of builds / classes on this account, which is my Necromancer, because I'm all about that necromancy, and Mesmers as well. This was kind of a Mesmer type character, but having finished Prophecies on the other one, I'll maybe play through Prophecies with someone on this account so I can kind of get it. I think if you manage to do stuff on Guild Wars, it also counts towards the Guild Wars 2, which is why I thought I'd kind of jump over to this one. But, despite owning all the other kind of expansions and campaigns for Guild Wars 1, I think I ran around a little bit in factions and I made a ritualist. And I've only ever done the tutorial bit of Nightfall. I kind of want to do one of the other campaigns now, especially now that I've got my head around what the do's and don'ts, having gotten back into it. So we're starting a factions campaign now, because like I said, I have played through Prophecies God knows how many times, so especially pre-searing. So we're going with factions. Now, they give you all these kind of wonderful classes here. Like I said, normally I always go Necromancer, but if we're playing Prophecies, we have to go with one of not Prophecies. If we're playing factions, we have to go with one of the faction-specific classes, which of course has to be the Ritualist. Very much kind of the Shaman King class, which I was also dead into in the kind of early 2000s. So we're going Shaman. Do I want male or female? Yeah, okay, let's go male. Again, select your level of privilege. Yeah, let's go with easy mode, shall we say. Quickly. Now, I love the kind of sort of emo sort of haircuts they kind of give these ones. So what do we want? Let's go with this. That kind of works. We have to go with. Can we go? Okay, we have the top now. I think we're going to go with a version of Tyros here. I think. Yes, we'll go with the stoic, chiseled, sort of facial features. That'll do. And yeah, so we don't want to go ghostly white. We'll just go with main European. Let's go with that. Also, we don't want to be a short king. We want to be slightly taller. So there we go. And we get to choose the color of our starting gear. I think we'll go. You know, will we go green? No. Yeah, we'll go blue. Let's go blue. Because I think their skills are all colored kind of bluish. There we go. Okay. We shall have Tyros. Yay, there we go. Tyros Spirit Caller. There we go. That seems thematically on side. I don't know what that beta thing is. Right, enter. We are playing on the Steam Deck, by the way. So I am playing on, again, can we appreciate the irony, right, of playing Guild Wars 1 with a PS5 controller. So this is the thing. But I have a mouse and keyboard on standby should I need it. So we're in a different continent to Prophecies. Again, this was slightly the problem I had revisiting Prophecies so late in the Prophecies campaign. I am so familiar with the start of Prophecies, the fall of Ascalon, the Char attacking, all that kind of shit. And then kind of jumping back into it. The ritual master known as Master Togu. Is there speaking? Is it just introducing us here? Hey, there we go. Right, we're back. Now, one thing that did annoy me slightly with the Reforged controls is the camera up and down seem to be inverted. Yeah, which is a little bit of a pain, but I'm sure I'll get used to it. But it'll be fine. So yes, getting back into Prophecies, about 3 missions in from the end, there's this evil lich guy, and he's a thing, and I'm pretty sure what the second last mini boss is a throwback to one of the characters at the beginning of the game from Ascalon, who's zombified and kind of brought back. But I was kind of like, what does this have to do with the Char? I've clearly missed all this in terms of how the beginning of the game relates to the end, but, you know, I take down the evil lich, that's a thing, and, you know, we win and everyone's happy. I do also, and I dug out for it, my original, still with the Game Station sticker on it, $12.99, Guild Wars official game guide for the Prophecies campaign. So I've been nostalging it up majorly. So right, first things first, I want to get we need to show off Tyros's lovely face, so we're going to hide his faceplate. There we go, that'll do. Right, talk to instructor Nig. Welcome to the instructor day. Okay, alright. Try looking around. Yes. Okay, so this is clearly just a tutorial. Okay. Right. Tyro spell call. Wherever you're ready, continue to speak to me. Yes, thank you. Do you see that chest over there? Would you like to walk over to it and see if there's something in it? Yes, I very much would. Where's the chest? Where did you put it? This one here. And yay, there we go. I now have a weapon. So again, it's just a little bit quicker swapping to mouse and keyboard for quickly attaching stuff. Right, time for your next lesson. The green. Yes. So for anyone not familiar, Guild Wars 1, it's not an MMO like Guild Wars 2. It's more of an online RPG. The towns, city, hubs, they are sort of like mini servers where players meet one another, But when you go out into like the wider world, that's when you get kind of an instance version of the world and your party. So, gain entry to JC modesty, speak to such a dig to attend orientation. Alright. To do the quest information. Yeah. We must go and destroy the remaining hatchlings before you can move forward with your trading. Do you want to enter the monsters? Okay. Yeah, the minimap's seen back that way. At the next step, far away, a green arrow on the minimap shows, yeah. Right. So straight away, the prophecies intro is a bit better. I feel it gets you to the action a little bit quicker, and I seem to remember it being voice acted. Right. These gates, the number of vicious, bloodthirsty. Okay, right. They've opened up. We can now deal with some shit. Right. Run into here. Now, sadly, there's no Z-axis in Guild Wars 1, meaning that jumping is not a thing. Right. Yes, I see him. Overly dramatic waving of the wand. Thank you. Right. And we'll take you out as well. Boop. Boom. So at the moment it's very much auto attack, but the thing about Guild Wars, you get 8 skills, and there are thousands, literally thousands of skills, and you get to choose like a second class. So probably, in most likelihood, I'll go Ritualist Necromancer, because why the hell not? All the spirits and all the zombies. And I didn't know this, but apparently you later on in the various campaigns, you can switch out your secondary class, so you're not stuck to it. I always presumed you were stuck with it. So, keep entrance to the monastery, speak to sorts. Okay. I need to go back and talk to the NPCs. Right, he's very well against those hashes. Well, thank you. Right. Doop-doo. Now, boys and girls, this is what gaming in the noughties kind of looked like. Not even the 2010s, the noughties. Right. Oh. I love how the game just kills you there. So yes, if you're in a mission and you die, you get a -15 penalty to all your stats, and that happens every time that you die. But if you kill named monsters, or kind of like complete bonus objectives, that goes up by 2%. So you can get like a maximum of like 2%, I think. Sorry, a maximum of 10%, but you can get a -60%, and it can lead you being stuck in a death spiral. You might get away with dying a couple of times in a run, but die more than twice, you're probably best restarting. But like I said, the problem is you could easily be an hour in a kind of like main mission, which can get super frustrating, especially with those fucking imps, like I said. Yes. Let me go kill some things. Right. Oh yeah, you get the signet ring. That lets you resurrect allies. So I think I got both factions and Nightfall for my Christmas, I think, 1 year. I was very lucky to stumble across a box collector's edition of the Prophecy, the base game, in Gaming Glasgow, I think, come to think of it. And yeah, I'm not gonna lie, I totally picked up the game because I fancied the Necromancer chick on the front. You know, I was totally into my alternative goth chicks even way back then. So that, again, a very effective strategy for the mid noughties. Put an attractive female character on the front. That looks slightly like Mila Jovovich, but as a goth. Right, are you still talking? Right, so I've got my 2 skills. What I should really check what they do. Right, weapon skill, 3 seconds, +2 health regeneration. Okay, so this is a thing. So you get these little arrows on your health bars and your energy bars. Blind ritual crit. Oh, a level 1 spirit for 30-second lifespan. So yeah, so the amount of arrows is how long it takes, how quickly your stuff's regenerating. So I can create a spirit. This is good, and that's a weapon skill. So 3 seconds +2 health regeneration, 50% chance to block. Okay, so this is a heal by the looks of things. So I can heal and I can create a spirit. I don't have any offensive skills yet. Right. Okay, so we'll do that. We'll send out a little friend. There we go. Yeah, and as you can see, the -15 in the corner starts going down. So by doing that, that heals me slightly. It's good. And Guild Wars 1, it has a max level of 20. So it's very easy to get up to max level in this game. And it very much has horizontal progression, not vertical. So prophecies, factions, and Nightfall all have like a similar power level. So completing any of those factions, any of those campaigns will give you roughly a characters that are equivalent in power. And then after that, they brought out Eye of the North, which is like takes place after the campaigns. And yes, you can create a factions character, then go do prophecies or Nightfall or whatever. But I think you can't do the intros for the various campaigns. They need to be like a specific character for that. Right, and to do. So yes, if I can convince my friend to to maybe jump back on our old characters from college, I might try and finish Prophecies again with him. If he returns my messages, Mark, if you're watching this pops up on your YouTube, get back to me. Although he's a new dad at the minute, so I'll give him a pass. Oh, thank you. There we go. Hey, I've got my resurrection skill now. Cool. Thank you. So another quick little thing. You're not limited to what weapon you could equip. So that is 3 to... Ooh, okay. Let's go with the staff. Staff looks good. Okay. Whenever you're ready, we can continue. Thank you. Right. Oh, hello, Milo. Right. You okay, wee one? Currently asleep next to me. Oh, we've got attribute points to spend. So your attribute points they more level up certain skills. So this one's restoration magic, so this one does restoration. That would power that up. Communing. I think we're going to be a communer, so I'm going to dump a few points into there. So that's that. Those are my various skills there. Resurrection Signet. Because I'm not in a town or city, I can't reorganize them. That's fine. So cool. Right. To gain interest in the monastery, I had to speak to the instructor again. Okay. When in a town or outpost, you can raise or lower your attributes freely. Thank you. So yeah, it's super easy to change builds, and it really kind of encourages you to try new combinations of skills. If something's not working, go back and try something else. Right. As for Guild Wars 2, I did finish Guild Wars 2 as in the base game. I got a character up to level 50 and finished the main story. What really confused me about Guild Wars 2 is because I had the first 2 expansions for that, and then there was like no expansions for Guild Wars 2 for like 5 years, and then now they've moved to like yearly expansions, and there's like 6 or 7 of the buggers. Turns out that in the intervening years they did what was called the Living World, which was basically content for like everyone that updated, but I think after that they've now just moved solely to the Final Fantasy 14 model of new year, new campaign, really. So, fair enough. I do want to go back to Guild Wars 2. I did enjoy what I played. Again, do my Necromancer on that as well. Could never really tell you how Guild Wars 2 connected to Guild Wars 1, which was one of the reasons why I wanted to go back and finish Guild Wars 1, so I could get that ping of nostalgia. I was like, oh, I've been there, or I remember what happened with that. So... Right, that chest's open, that's fine. Where? Do gain entrance to the monastery. Is he coming? Yeah, they are coming. There we go. Alright. Sorry, did I wander off too much? Right. Are you coming too? Or are you just staying here? And the monastery entrance, and she'll meet you. Alright. Okay. So, like I said, in Prophecies you have what's called the pre-searing, which is like a prologue separate from the main game, and it's actually a surprisingly big space. There's like 4 or 5 decently sized maps with a lot of quests. You can actually get up to max level 20, and there's even an achievement for doing so. Takes you a while, but you can get up to max level before even leaving the tutorial zone. And there's even a whole community that just stays in pre-searing. I was kind of hoping for something similar with factions, but it doesn't seem. It seems to be a much more scripted, linear type thing. Can you let me into the monastery? Yes, I'm ready. Hey, here we go. So this is obviously one of the little kind of player hubs. That's fine. That's absolutely great. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to move this signet ring. I'm going to move this way over here. Because I don't think I'll be needing that. Right. So now that I'm here, follow the quest markers. Headmaster Quinn. The spirits tell me that Professor Girl is ready to begin your training in the ritualist arts. It seems that some necromancers or others, it's quite a mess to look after. Okay. And we're already level 2, which helps. And we've got some new skills. Let's have a look. Right, channeling magic, hex-based spells to do hex foes near you 10 seconds, spirits do 8 more damage. So that's something I think we want to start off with. So that's probably our opener. This is a heal, so I'm going to put this on this bar. Vengeful weapon warding. Right, Spell steals health. So this is a damage spell which steals. So I'm going to put that one, which is a flat heal to me. Communing, that's a restoration ability. Right, channeling. Or communing. So, okay. Right. I'm going to take off the communing just now and I'm going to put it into restoration. Because we've got more spells that do restoration. And I think that might be slightly more handy. Doop-a-doop-a-doo. Oh, and are these the henchmen as well? Down here, I think. So we can get a little party on the go. Yes, we can. Oh, and there's another little quest here. Greeting. You're heading out. It's very dangerous out there. Blah, blah, blah. Maybe you should all go together and invite at least one party. So this is the henchman system. Like I said, they add a better version of this in Eye of the North. But for now, yeah, I don't think there's much reason to not go it alone. So we definitely want a healer. I think we want a tank as well. He's a quick shot. So he's obviously a ranger. She's obviously an elementalist. They're a necromancer. I'm probably going to take necromancer when I get the ability to, so she could be the elementalist, and that'll be fine. Alrighty, forming a party. Then speak to the. Okay. Invite a party into your party. Okay, I've done all that. Alright. Never mind. Anyway, headed out. Ah, right, okay, that's his version there. Okay. So I'm so pleased to see that you are here. Blah blah blah. Yay, yay. So we're almost level 3, and again, bearing in mind that max level is 20, so that's not bad at all. Right, let's quickly bring up my quest. Prime quest, locate Professor Gap. There we go. So we're going this way. So yeah, the joke is, it's really hard to die in Guild Wars 2. It is very easy to die in Guild Wars 1. And like I said, with that kind of diminishing returns, or every time you die you take 15 stat damage, and then you have to kill enemies to get it back, you could so easily get into just a death spiral. It's ridiculous. Now, out in the world, there are collectors. And the collectors often have good shit on them. But you need to give them a certain item in order to get stuff. Like one of the big things that you can get very early on in Prophecies, which again makes life so much easier before you head out into the real game, it's actually getting bag slots. So I think there's another wee dude up here we shall have a chat with. Oh, is he higher up? Okay, never mind. Right, anyway. Doo-ba-doo. So I think if you have a party, golden experience might be shared throughout the party, which does slow you down a bit in terms of leveling up. But like I said, I think I was max level in Prophecies by about the halfway mark. At that point, the experience isn't really a thing. Experience just gives you more skill points to buy new skills with. Okay, so we've got some more, even more shit. So what do we got now? So we've got Another communing one, binding ritual creates a level 1 spirit, second life round. Whenever a non-spirit ally within range takes damage or life steal, it reduces it by. So that's kind of a protection one, I think. And this one here, attacks deal 5% damage. Okay. I might, again, get a couple of things out in when next time we're in town, I'll swap them around. Windy's gone wild. Right, I think we've got to kill someone here. This is so much easier than the later levels of prophecy. I got my ass kicked so fucking hard. Nice. Right. Other things happening in Yindy Land. So, like I said, it is payday tomorrow, but I finally finished the month with a little bit in the bank account after Christmas and all this, and getting the car sorted and all that sort of thing. So, without going into too much detail, I had very much of a stressful week, so I decided to treat myself. So, unironically, one of the things that I've been sort of just playing about in the background, just because I don't need to think, and I've just booted it up when I'm needing to turn off my brain. Right, hold on, give me a second. Yeah, let's go with channeling now. We'll pop that in there. A few unused points. Maybe we'll put a couple of communing as well. Okay, maybe one to spawning. Again, we can freely distribute these later. I've actually been playing Super Mario 64, the 3D All-Stars edition that I picked up on the Switch. And I never owned Super Mario 64 as a child. I did technically own an N64. Now, last year I did a video on the Amiga 500 and how that got me into gaming, and that was like the gaming console that was my introduction, and I played a lot with Dad. The N64, for most of its life cycle, was a console that a lot of my friends had. I only finally got an N64 towards the end of its life cycle, as in, I'm pretty sure like the PS2 was on the horizon when I finally got an N64. I owned 2 games for it. Pokemon Stadium, which was the big reason I got an N64 at Christmas, and it was so I could transfer my Pokemon and see them in 3D, and that was like the coolest shit ever when I was leaving primary school going into high school. And Perfect Dark. And I'm pretty sure the only reason I got to Perfect Dark is because my dad wanted to play it. Because the thing is, my dad, he had no interest in Nintendo and all that. He was a big boy PC gamer, so he was into Half-Life and Doom and Quake and those sort of games. So that was one of the reasons why it took so long to get an N64. Again, I think that was either a Christmas or a birthday present. So even though I had the N64, I only had those 2 games for it. Because the other thing that people don't realise, and see if anyone else roughly my age, 37, has these memories. Nintendo games, particularly the N64 games at the time, were fucking expensive, like really fucking expensive. As in, I remember going to Toys R Us, and any Nintendo game on cartridge was 50 quid, which, adjusted for today's money, I looked it up before the stream, that's 90 quid in 2016 money. And yes, some games do release at the 70, 80 quid mark, but it's usually the deluxe editions, and usually they come down in price or depreciate in value quite quickly. Not Nintendo games at the time. No, they were 50 quid and they stayed at 50 quid. So yeah, we were fairly well off growing up. I mean, we weren't, I never felt we were short of money, but we weren't like minted either. So, a 50 quid game, that's a Christmas slash birthday affair for me. Like, a lot of the games that I played, looking back on it, were actually games my dad bought for himself, and I was allowed to play too. But the games that were like solely mine, they were kind of more relegated to either Christmas, birthday, or a one-off gift for like getting through a year at school or something like that. So I did own an N64, but I didn't own any of the classics on the N64. I didn't own Ocarina of Time, didn't own Majora's Mask, didn't play GoldenEye. I would encounter these games and know of their reputation later on. I got Ocarina of Time and played. I've never completed Ocarina of Time. I've mostly got through it on the GameCube version that came with Wind Waker. So I have had the opportunity to play a few of those games, but the N64 itself, despite being the console I wanted the most, never really got much use out of it, and therefore didn't have much nostalgia for it. So going back and playing things like Mario N64 as an adult, I've got a completely different perspective because I'm not coming at it from nostalgia. I'm coming at it from, right, well, this is a game that defined so many games that came after it and inspired that, and was like the first proper 3D game to do like platform and that sort of thing. So I can kind of appreciate its game design, and sure, bits of it have aged poorly. That fucking camera, for example, is just god awful. But the structure of the game, the slow unfolding of Peach's castle, and you can have a quick 5-minute gameplay loop of jump into one map, fuck about, play about, poke things until something happens, and then realize, oh wait a second, this leads to a star, and that gives you one of the stars, and then if you don't get it, or you get stuck, or you get killed, you get booted out, and then you can go back and you can do something else and jump into another world. So I can absolutely see why it is a classic and why it defined a kind of a generation of games. So I'm enjoying that in kind of like my off time, just as a quick 5, 10, 15 minute sort of gaming session before bed. So what I bought for myself this week, I want to experience, and I might do a video on the N64 era and the games that I actually missed out on. But the thing about the N64 was, I know there are better ways to play the games. There's the Ship of Arcadian native PC port of Ocarina of Time, where you can turn Ganon's blood back to red and stuff like that. And there's various emulators and stuff out there, which Nintendo gets a bit iffy about if you go. But from a software point of view, they are probably the better way of playing many of these games. And although the Nintendo Online service sort of catalog, ironically, are all just emulators themselves and aren't the best software versions of them, I think the thing in the N64's case alone, which, if you're going to have an authentic N64 experience, what you need is the N64 controller. That weird, I don't know what paint thinner they were huffing when they designed that fucking thing, but the N64 controller, I think it's synonymous with that era and those particular games. Because that was the other thing, these games were not only expensive at the 50/90 quid price point in today's money, but they were also exclusive. Many of the games that were on PlayStation at the time, or came out for PlayStation and Nintendo, they didn't come out cross-platform, frankly. So these games remained, a curiosity and this weird thing that was just out of my reach for the longest time. Spirit Rift. After 3 seconds, affected foe adjacent to the target. Right, I'm going to get rid of this. I'm not really using this one. Let's swap that. Okay. Oh, right, okay, we have to take these guys out. So yeah, Star Fox, Mario, Kirby, Luigi's Island, all these sort of ones, again, remained very much out of reach for me. I knew of them through cultural osmosis, but they didn't inform my early gaming sort of childhood and nostalgia. But then later on, as an adult, getting into games, and particularly being one for the history of games, I've obviously gone back and played them, and I can absolutely see why they had the effect that they did on kind of game development. So, I've bought the N64 controller for the Switch, and I want to play through some of these classic games that I missed. Perfect Dark, GoldenEye, Paper Mario, I think that was another one, Star Fox. So, I absolutely could, and I did even look into actually just buying an N64 or from CEX, or even going to try to get my hands on that remastered console they did. That's not an N64. What they called it, the analog or something like that. They did a remastered like Game Boy version as well, so it plays the original cartridges, but it's a modern version of the N64. But it's like $300, so what, 250 quid, 300 quid. And while I think that's absolutely a wonderful thing, if you had that nostalgia for the N64 period, and you had a strong connection to those games, that's probably worth the money. But as someone who kind of just wants to dip in and out and doesn't have that same strong level of nostalgia like I do for the Amiga, or for the PS2, or the original Xbox, as much as I always wanted to have a much larger N64 collection, looking at the games of the N64, I'm like, you know what? I'd rather just play them on the Nintendo Online service with the N64 controller, and I think that'll be fine. So, not to mention the fact that the N64 controller was only 40 quid compared to like the GameCube one for the Switch 2. That's something silly like, again, I think I had with 60 quid, I think. Now, I do actually have a working Wii there, and I have my old GameCube collection. I did own a GameCube, and I have quite a few classic games for the GameCube on there. So like Wind Waker, Metroid, Mario Kart, those sort of things. So I've got all them. So as much as I gave my old GameCube away to an old girlfriend and regretted it again afterwards, much like how I gave my old N64 away to my friend's brother, the truth is, if you're just wanting to play the games, the classic actual GameCube games, you're as well just picking up a Wii. It's probably cheaper, and it plays all the Wii games, and you can get a knockoff GameCube controller for 15 quid off Amazon, and that works perfectly fine. So that's what I've done anyway in terms of my retro gaming setup. I've got a fully working, because my dad picked it up for a pub one time and brought it home. I've got a working Dreamcast with all the peripheries like the keyboard and stuff like that for typing of the dead and weird shit. We at one point had 3 PS2s. Dad had one, I had one, and I'm pretty sure my sister had one. However, I've not been able to find my original PS2, unfortunately. So, but I managed to get a 50 quid PS2 Slim online on eBay for like 50 quid. So I've got I've got a PS2 kind of set up there, so I can play my old PS2 games. There is an original Xbox up in the loft somewhere, but I've got multiple working Xbox 360s that don't play all of the original Xbox games, just enough of them, like the important ones, like Jet Set Radio Future and things like that. Then you start getting into the more modern kind of versions. I never owned a PS3. I'd kind of fallen out of the PlayStation ecosystem at that point. Didn't own a PS3. Played mainly 360 throughout the late noughties, 2010s, and then kind of a lot of PC games as well. Totally missed the Xbox One, and didn't really bother with the PS4 either. And then when you get to like COVID sort of time, after I started having a little bit more disposable income when my job was settled and stuff, that's when I bought the Switch. We had plenty of Wiis. No, that's the one I missed. So every one of my family got a Wii. My mum, well, my dad didn't, but my mum, my sister, I did. I think my mum even bought a couple for like different rooms of the house, because she was really going through her fitness at the time, and she had multiple versions of Wii Sports and stuff. It was a thing. So the Wii era was when I went off to college. I mainly was a PC player throughout the early 2010s, I think. And then finally, I got back into console gaming with the original Switch. And then when the PS5 and Xbox X came out, I totally skipped the Xbone, the Xbox One, and then got back into gaming with my dad in the pandemic on the Xbox Series X. He got a Series S, so did my sister. So we played a fair wee bit there, and that's our kind of. And at the moment, I have the X, the Xbox X, the PS5, the Switch 2, the Steam Deck, the gaming rig. So at the moment, I've just got all the all the gaming options. So there we go. So right, we've got more things to buy. And let's put up our restoration, and okay, we'll put one into spawning as well. There we go. Well, I've not died yet, so this is going surprisingly well. I was talking to Mike from the Tuesday group. We had our in-person gaming session of Blackstone Fortress at the weekend just there. I love it. I sent pictures to my mum of us playing, and she was like, "You're all old men." I was like, "Yeah." So, I mean, it would be weirder if like I was inviting kind of people much younger than me to the flat, you know. So, no, we're all prospective dad age. It's a thing. So we're playing through Warhammer Quest Blackstone Fortress. The dice were not kind to me. They're still bullying me for that. Anyway. So Mike got very obsessed with my computer and my rig. At some point in the next year, I should really upgrade my computer. I was maybe going to get the ROG Ally to upgrade from the Steam Deck as for my kind of PC gaming needs. But, you know, because I do a lot of editing and stuff now and I actually use my PC for work, I'm probably better just buying a better PC. Although Mike said it's fairly easy to upgrade my existing one, which might be the better, cheaper option, especially considering like RAM prices and everything are just going to go mental. So that's what he recommended. Certainly. I was telling about my PC having constant asthma attacks. Yeah, it turns out I really need to like hoover my PC every now and then, so I properly gave it a good hoover and a clean, and it's not had an asthma attack since. So yeah, Yindy, clean your fucking fans. It's a thing. Dodo. Right. So other games that are coming up. So I might do a classic Nintendo 64 stream next week, especially if that controller arrives. Um, the other games that are on the list: Simon the Sorcerer Origins. That's definitely one I want to play. I've got Code Vein 2 pre-ordered. I'm really looking forward to that. I actually really enjoyed Code Vein 1. And I did have the Nintendo Switch 2 version of the new Dragon Quest game pre-ordered physically on Amazon. Then realized it was a bloody game card, rather than like a proper cartridge. So I decided, you know what, fuck it. I can't guarantee I'll get around to play it on release, so I might as well just cancel the physical pre-order and then pick it up on a sale or something like that. So I think that's more likely to be my plan. But I've definitely got Resi Evil 9. Yeah, I think it's 9 we're on. So, but it's the end of February, so it's after kind of next payday, so I don't need to worry about that. Ooh, alright. Is this a boss fight? This looks like... That's quite imposing. Ooh, right, okay. This is where we get to choose, presumably, our next class. Right. I would like to be a necromancer, please. Send me to the necromancer. So the other thing that's really keeping me busy at the moment is, for anyone outside of Scotland, we've got the Scottish elections coming up at the moment. So I'm a member of the Liberal Democrat Party, so we're getting ready for various different... I'm standing, I think, in East Kilbride. I'm the MSP... I'm not the NSP, I'm... That's another party in Scotland. No, I'm the Liberal Democrat candidate for MSP, Member of Scottish Parliament. Get your fucking acronyms right, Yindy, that'll get you in trouble. But that's standing in an election to represent the party. Fly the flag, but chances of me winning are obviously quite slow. I mean, if I end up in government, something's gone terribly wrong. Right. Vampire Gaze. Okay, let's do this one. So this is like a steel health one here. So or do we want to change? Okay, no, we'll swap those ones out. Deadly Swarm. That's one we maybe do want. Okay, we'll do that. Yeah, but I'm kind of more actively supporting candidates with a better chance of winning. So, but it's been good to meet my fellow Liberal Democrats. I was at a Liberal Democrat conference a little while back, and honestly, it was like a convention for retired art teachers. I showed up and it was like, my people. But yes, certainly over the past week, I've been counting how long it is till someone inevitably brings up the big orange maniac. The school bully in the playground demanding that we hand over Greenland. So, yeah. Anyway, I'm glad that some people have stood up and told him, to F off. Which, I love how that guy, he got thrown out of the convention for telling Trump to basically just fuck off. You can't speak like that. And it's like, well, it's the only bloody language he seems to understand. And Mark Carney, the Canadian Prime Minister, yeah, he's sort of the one that very politely, very Canadian, being polite about it, but basically telling Trump where to stick it. And Trump seems to respect him for it. So, this is what we do. And like I said, I'm a member of the Liberal Democrats, and Sir Ed Davies, the leader of our party, He's really the only one in the UK who's not trodding softly when it comes to Trump. He's just like telling me, it's just fuck off and stop being an arsehole. So, and I'm like, yeah, pretty much. A belt pair. Speak with. Okay. So this is obviously giving us our first belt pouch. So straight away from this kind of early experience of factions compared to the pre-Searing Prophecies campaign, there was much more scope and much more freedom. Like I said, pre-Searing Guild Wars was almost like a mini expansion in and of itself. It was like a proper little world within a world. Multiple maps, multiple quests. This one feels very much more on rails. Although, having said all that, there's a new belt pouch. Okay, I have henchmen with me, so you know, I don't think I'd be any real danger of dying. But it feels very much just go to the next objective marker. Whereas there was like there were whole story arcs and stuff in pre-Searing that you needed to complete. And like there's even certain items that if you didn't get in the pre-Searing, they don't become relevant till Eye of the North, you know, thousands of hours later. Right. I should probably check, see if I've got any better gear that we can equip. Monster credits. Oh, right. So we do have a nice staff, but it's unidentified. I need a kit for that. Okay, there's a merchant up here. We can maybe get rid of some shit. So I'll sort back to my mouse and keyboard. I definitely want. Oh, we do actually have bags. Even better. Right. So what I want, inventory, thank you very much, is I want to, I think we just want to sell stuff at the moment. So, yeah. Sell them, sell them, sell them. Yeah, sell that. Sell that. Sell that. Sell that. Okay, thank you. These are. So that gives me about 400 gold. Certainly, I want an identification kit. Thank you very much. And I also probably want 2 bags. I feel. There we go. And inventory. Thank you. Now it does say about a. There we go. Belt pouch there. I can't afford another belt pouch. Highly salvageable. 4 to 6. What's that one? 4 to 6. Energy plus 3. Okay, so that one's slightly better than what I've got. So we'll swap to the Earth Staff. Right. I'll finish this quest. If not, I'll come back and grab that belt pouch, I think. And then that's actually not bad at all. That pretty much kits me out. Later on, I can get the bag of the rune of holding, which will increase my bags. But the point is, I've got my bag slots sorted. I just don't want to spend 100 gold in the early game only to realise I'm about to be given a bag pouch. Or a belt pouch. Dee-ba-dee-ba-doo. This feels a lot like the the same village in Prophecies, except with some of the assets swapped out. Probably is. Okay. So, as I was saying, I did convince Tavares. I think I bought Guild Wars for him for his birthday or something. Again, it was on sale for like £5, which, again, I feel is a little bit anti-consumer in that. So, if you'd bought Guild Wars 1 or the Guild Wars trilogy on sale for a fiver, you get access or you get automatically upgraded to Guild Wars Reforged. However, if you didn't, and you're wanting to get into Guild Wars Reforged now, it's still it's going to cost you £20, and Eye of the North expansion is another £8-9 on top of that. So in that respect, it feels like a little bit money for old rope. But again, to be fair, right? Out of all the classic MMOs of that era. Again, I know Guild Wars technically isn't an MMO, but it was in competition at the time with, certainly in my school, with World of Warcraft. As I was saying, you had the Guild Wars players and the World of Warcraft players. The fact that it still has a beloved player base to this day, the fact that I got stuck on Sunday just past and someone was able to jump in and run me through it within a minute of me posting a request for help, speaks to the longevity and the kind of well design of this game. And I mean, Warcraft is a good game in of itself, and I got properly into Warcraft. I got in at the beginning. I did play a little bit during Burning Crusade, but I didn't get very far. But I got my first kind of max level character and engaged in the end game of Warcraft in Lich King. And I jumped in from expansion to expansion, and I think I played it on and off all the way through till Legion, I think. No, Battle for Azeroth. Battle for Azeroth was the last expansion I played. And it was the previous one, Legion, that was by far my favourite expansion that I had a lot of fun with. Battle for Azeroth for me kind of marked a change in the tide. I mean, I played it. I got to max level on it. I put it down. I've kind of never been back. And a lot of that, one of the things that really kind of soured me on it is I used to collect the collector's editions of games, like the boxed collector's editions of stuff. And the Warcraft collector's edition boxes were, Blizzard in their heyday, a work of art. Same with the Diablo 3 collector's editions. But the Battle for Azeroth one was the first collector's edition that I bought from Blizzard. And I was like, what the hell is this? I mean, the Wrath of the Lich King collector's edition had an art book, it had limited edition trading cards, it had all kind of bonus items. You got a documentary, a behind the scenes, you got the game disc. It was like a full package. And it looked fucking awesome on the shelf. The Battle for Azeroth, again, if you have all the collector's editions of World of Warcraft, all the different expansions, they look really nice all together on the shelf. But the Battle for Azeroth one didn't even have an art book. It was sort of like an illustrated story of like the opening cutscene. It didn't have a game disc. They had moved to a digital code at that point. There was no documentary. There was no extra stuff other than this, and I've got it in front of me just there. This kind of like alliance / horde medallion thing that sits on this really plasticky looking wooden frame, and that was your lot. They charged 90 quid for that, and I got so pissed off that I actually left a review on Amazon when I bought it, basically saying, look, this review isn't about Battle of Azeroth the game, but for anyone like me who's been collecting the collector's editions, don't bother with this one. Compared to the others, this collector's edition is shit. Just upgrade your game digitally to get the new content. Don't bother buying this. And next thing I know, some weirdo who's presumably just, fishing through Amazon comments of all things, finds my review and properly lays into me for daring to attack World of Warcraft. And I'm like, dude, did you even read my fucking review? Right? I wasn't attacking the game. I was saying this particular collector's edition isn't worth the money, especially compared to Blizzard's previous ones. Don't waste your money buying the physical collector's edition, you fucking idiot. But yeah, again, MMO players, am I right? I worry for Josh Hayes. He seems to be having a little bit of a mental breakdown at the moment, arguing with his audience. So, in some ways, I'm glad I'm not big enough to have to deal with that shit yet. But then again, I'm getting into politics, so, I'm just like mute. Right, I've done all that. Did I get a belt pouch? I finished that quest there. I did get a belt pouch. Would you look at that? Right, boom, there we go. Fantastic. Right. Glad I didn't spend any money on that. Okie dokie. Quests. Quest log. Primary quest. We're back onto this. Oh, you have skills. 1 skill point and 50 gold. Okay, so we can buy other skills from her. And this is like the level's one thing, but like I say, once you kind of hit 20, that's as powerful as you kind of get. Enchantment spell, you gain 11 health and 2 energy whenever you create a creature. Heals, but when you're in neutral. When spirits. Burn Strike, Blood Song. Great, a level 2 spirit, 60-second lifespan. Okay, let's get this one. Okay. Right, I think at this stage we now have enough skills and attributes. We can now kind of play about with a build. So let's start from scratch again. Let's get rid of everything. Right, I like this one. That's a debuff. Boom. Right, blood magic, blood siphon, vampire gaze, death magic, deadly swarm. That's quite a powerful necromancer spell, so maybe pop that there. Restoration magic. You have plus drop effect you gain. That's kind of like a heal. That's a health steal. And that's a health regenerate, so maybe let's take that as a health steal. Communing, blood weapon.
Mad Mike Falco.
Hey Mike, how you doing?
Hello.
Fucking hell. You made me jump out my skin again. So if that's you just joining the stream now, you missed me talking about, our gaming session earlier where you lot were frankly bullying me. I told my missus on you. In fact, actually, no, before we get to that, worse, I told my mum on you. Yeah. I sent her pictures from that were taken on the day of us playing, and her genuine reaction was, "You're all a bunch of old men." And I'm like, "Yeah, what were you expecting? We're all dad age." So, but there you go. Right, I'm quickly through together my build here. Weapon skill, 14 damage, and haven't had any art sellers yet. I've got a little surprise up my sleeve for if we get any of them, but I think maybe playing a 20-year-old RPG, they haven't found me yet. Okay, I want that. That's definitely one that I want. Restoration. Vampire Gauge. Life Siphon. Daggerfall. Okay. Okay, how about this? We'll put the summoning ones over there.
Mad Mike Falkirk.
Jesus Christ.
Ha ha. It was a laugh though.
Oh,
I
yeah.
was just playing RV there yet. Good wee game for a laugh.
Jesus Christ, Mike. I keep jumping out my skin every time the text to speak. Just because it's been a really chill stream up till now. Type faster. So that I'm... right. Done that.
Mad Mike Falkirk. Boo.
Don't start. So, usually if Riley was on, Riley would be talking from the start, so I'd be like, oh yeah, I actually do have text to speak on. Right, I've got that there, I was going to maybe add in my Vampire Gate. No, I was going to add in Life Siphon, because that's maybe useful. What else did we want? There's no point me taking the Resurrection. So yes, I posted on our group, we should get Blackstone version 2 on the go at some point, hopefully at the end of February. My painting table project is they were my first miniatures that I ever painted when I got back into Warhammer as a hobby. So technically, all my Blackstone minis were painted. They were just painted really badly. But as I would say to my students, they're not shit, they're just unfinished. So I've been sprucing up their paint job, and hopefully they'll look a lot nicer next time we play. Right, and what's this one? Okay, that's a level 2 spirit. We'll pop that one in there. Create a level 2 spirit. Never non-ally. Okay, so that's blunt weapon. And we have no. Do we have Bloodsong? No. Bloodsong's the one I picked up. So yeah, but I will maybe do that. Okay, we'll try that as a build. That might be a thing. So I was saying, I finished Prophecies, the first campaign of Guild Wars, on my original character that I had when I was 16 on Sunday there. So I don't know if this is one for you, Mike, original Guild Wars, but I managed to convince Tavares to maybe give it a try. So if you fancy some classic, naughties, RPGs. Having said all that, we still have Baldur's Gate to finish. I don't know if that might be a thing for next Tuesday, because I know Doug, one of our other players, he's got a gig that day. I think that's when he's going to see Ginger. I need to ask him about that. Boom. Oh, that was the other thing. At some point, I don't know if you're on Twitch or if you're on YouTube, but I was going to make you a mod, just so you could have the power of banning the art sellers when they show up.
Mad Mike Falkirk. Never played Guild Wars. Back then I was FPS and RTS mad Twitch, but can do both.
Yeah. Again, I was probably the same. I was just explaining my gaming history earlier, where although I had an N64, that was never a console my dad was into. So yeah, he was a big he was a big boy. He was a PC gamer. He played Half-Life and Quake and all those type of things. So those were often the games that got handed down to me. But yes, Guild Wars was the first online game that I ever played. I was saying they've kind of done a thing where they've remastered it. So if you had the original version, you could have got it cheap for like £5. But since they've kind of like revamped it, it's gone up to like 20, which feels a little bit money for old rope. Ooh, great level 1 Bone Fiend. Yes, thank you.
Mad Mike Falkirk. Half-Life. I inject COPIUM for HL3.
Yep. Half-Life 3 confirmed. Expel the attacking focus. Yeah, I don't need that. Right, but I definitely do want Raise the Dead. It's kind of like your whole thing is a necromancer. Classic necromancy jokes. Raising a family is hard. Well, that really depends on how close they are buried together. Wait, what were you talking about? There we go. There's also that D&D meme that's like off of Lord of the Rings. And you have my bow. You have my axe, necromancer. No, that was it. Avenging your dead brother. The fighter, you have my sword. Ranger, you have my bow. Necromancer, and you have your dead brother. Wait, what? Oh, there's another one. So it's currently down week at the minute. So.
Mad Mike Falkirk. Got my boy watching Dragon Soup. Love that.
Oh, nice. Oh yes, and congrats to your other son on getting into university. I think it's yes, we've done that. Okay.
Mad Mike Falkirk. He is rather excited.
Good. That's how you want to be. So is he going straight into first year, or if he's done an HNC/D, is he skipping first year and going into second or third? And right, both.
Mad Mike Falkirk. Depends on his final grades, but probably first year.
Fair enough. Actually, come and think of it, right? Do you want to jump on the Discord? Actually, that might be easier than you typing out, and also give you something to rant with. Give me a second while I set that up. I'll just jump into our usual gaming chat. There we go. Hey,
Hello.
There we have a mic. By the way, right? If we have any kind of art sellers that show up, I've got a little something for them. Do you think this is subtle enough? Just in case. See how long it takes them. To kind of go, wait a minute. So, anyway. But having said all that, now that I've actually prepared that, none have shown up. It's like they know.
Yep.
Yeah, right. Hold on. There we go. Got to switch my screen back. Problem is, Milo kept knocking the remote off the sofa, so now the left button doesn't work. There we go. So yes, I've almost finished repainting my Blackstone Fortress minis. So they're looking quite good, if I don't say so myself. So
Well, we'll see them in about, what, a month's time?
yeah. If we could get like an in-person gaming session once a month, I think that would be good. So, do you think you're
Yeah.
sticking with the two the two rattlings, or are you trying something else?
We'll see. The two rattlings are rather useful.
So yes, apparently I gained a reputation for being a bit of a loot goblin. No, I was not a loot goblin. In the very first thing that we played, I tried to rush into melee, being a kind of swashbuckler, and I got a grenade to the face. So then I thought, you know what? I'll maybe hang back and let like the giant fucking robot with the minigun, soak the damage. I'll just hang back and grab the objectives and help the team out that way. But no. You guys start going, oh, there's Yindy going for the loot again. I'm helping. Shut up. So, right. Yeah, let's get some more channeling on the go, I think. Sweet.
It didn't help your cause that the entire game was against you, though.
It really didn't. So, I still can't get over Doug looking me straight in the eye and rolling a critical against me. So,
The best one was when he was looking at Tavares, and he still rolled a crit for you.
I know. Oh, got a 2%. He was obviously a named enemy. Yay. So I was saying I've treated myself. I'm getting back into retro gaming, and despite owning, that's one of the collectors, and did he have like good shit for me? Despite owning an N64, I never actually owned more than 2 games. I owned Perfect Dark and Pokemon Stadium, so completely opposite ends of the spectrum. That's probably appropriate for a 12-year-old. But I want to do another video kind of on the N64 era and play many of the games that I missed. So rather than spend £100 on a N64 from CEX and however much for the individual games and stuff, I bought the £40 N64 controller for the Switch. So that seems probably a easier way to kind of dip in and out of the N64 games. So
I know some of the games are getting expensive on that now.
I know. I was just saying they were expensive back in the day as well. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know if you remember, you were particularly into them, but I am right in thinking that N64 games at the time, so mid-90s, they were £50 a pop, weren't they?
Yes, there was a YouTuber that was looking at the cost of games, and he
Yeah.
went back, and some games were topping 70,
Yeah.
depending on the console, which is not far off today's market.
I worked out that many of the N64 games from like Toys R Us were £50 a pop, which is a £90 in today's money. And okay,
Yep.
yeah, there's a lot of like deluxe editions and stuff that come out at £90, but that's usually the next price point up with extra shit added to it and stuff. And
Yep.
yeah, again, I know they're pushing they're trying to push $100. So what would that be 90 or 80, UK monies for GTA 6?
Yeah, actually, they're looking at they're talking. Rumors are about £100,
Yeah.
and they'll probably have special versions and everything else.
And I guarantee you that out of the quarter it releases, it'll probably be back down to like 60, 70, I think. I mean, that was the thing about the N64 games, though. They were both exclusive to the N64, and they never went on sale, ever.
See, I think what they'll do is they'll have the game at full price, and you'll get GTA Online for an amount of time,
Yeah.
and then it'll be a subscription after that.
Yeah, I tried getting into GTA Online. I've only got a few missions in, and that was it. Me and my
Yep.
dad, we played and we got slightly further into Red Dead Online.
All right.
There was, again, this is the sort of like mad shit that could have happened, right? To give you a little kind of insight into my dad, right? He was the sort of guy who would find the roughest arse pub in town, and he would ingratiate himself into that pub for no other reason than he wanted the challenge. And then once that pub kind of accepted him as a regular, then he'd move on and find a new pub. So he was a bit of a masochist that way. Anyway, we were playing Red Dead Redemption Online, and we walked into like one of the saloons or one of the bars. Now, all we had to do was get to town, walk down the street, hand in the quest, get the next quest, and off we go, right? However, we walk into the saloon, an NPC, not another player, an NPC bumps into my dad's character. He takes offense at this, punches the NPC. This, of course, alerts the sheriff and all this, and suddenly we've got a wanted rating. Next thing we know, I'm in a shootout in this fucking saloon, trying to get Dad out, and the next 40 minutes is us trying to leave this town, getting chased by law enforcement, and I'm just like, what did you do? He hit me. He's an NPC. He doesn't have sentience. So,
Have you heard about the crime system for the GTA 6?
no, do tell.
Right. Well, they've based it on modern day. So much like GTA 5, if you get seen doing something, you get a crime, right?
Right, I was waiting to say if you based it on modern day. So if you choose any other option other than white, you're automatically arrested by ICE. So
Well, this is where it gets complex, because if folks see you doing a crime, they could video you,
oh, right.
right? Some of them could post it onto GTA 6's version of like TikTok or Twitter, which it's got,
Oh, right.
right? The more you do things, if you're not wearing face masks and disguises, the more notorious you get, and folks start recognising you, and there's a bigger police file built on you as well. So
Right.
if police see you, they're more likely to pull you over. And obviously, that depends on the severity of the crime that you were committing at the time.
Again, this all sounds rather interesting, and the sort of stuff that would be in a pre-launch sort of all these bells and whistles like shrinking horse testicles. How much of this makes it into the final game? Because
Well, I think they actually put that in the game early because GTA Online can be such a cesspit at times.
right, yeah.
So depending how you act would make it more difficult for you. If you want to just go gunning everywhere, it gets more difficult for you because the police will recognise you, and people in the street might recognise you, and so on.
See, I again didn't properly get into like GTA Online, but I was listening to Stigford on Halfwits. He was doing a podcast a little while ago, but I think during the pandemic he played a lot of GTA Online, and what ended up happening was, talk about kind of men's mental health. There was just like these random group of guys who would just like congregate at the top of the highest mountain in GTA Online, just show up just for an evening of, so how are you? What's going on? All right,
Yep.
Steve. It's like, it was surprisingly wholesome. So we need more GTA stories like that, I feel.
Yep.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. Coins, please. Thank you. Can I? Oh, I don't have enough energy. Come on. I want to resurrect something. How much energy is that to use? That's 25 energy. Right. And so if I do this, animate Bone Fiend. Hey, there we go. One of my favourite builds on Guild Wars had to be Corpse Explosion Necromancer. Especially wading into like a group of enemies, it was just you get in and you just start slaughtering everything. Speaking of which, again, I don't know if they're games that you've got, but you said you had Helldivers, didn't you? That was another one I
Yes.
was trying to get Tavares on. So I've got Helldivers there. By the way, I was also saying this, right? I finally hoovered my PC.
Hey.
It's not had an asthma attack since. so
Well, I've got my box of spare fans, so next time I come along, I'll bring some fans.
Oh, amazing. Thank you. So, yeah, I'll maybe get a shopping list from you of what to potentially look out for in terms of upgrades.
Yep.
Yeah, right. Oh, no. Oh, I died for the first time. Right, I'm back.
Here's a question for you.
Yes.
With modern day gaming. Do you find a lot of modern day games too short or too easy?
Right, those are, again, two very different questions. Taking the first one, are they too short? Absolutely fucking not. In fact, I find I'm having the opposite problem with a lot of modern day games in that they keep going on and on and on, well past the point where I'm actually enjoying them. What culprits for this had to be God of War Ragnarok. I'm going to die again. Shit. No, I'm good. Yeah, God of War Ragnarok. I think that was a game I kept feeling like, are you done yet? And you could have easily lost or cut a third / half of that game, and it would have just been a much tighter, much nicer experience. As for the too easy part, I think it depends on the type of game. I think a lot of them are more streamlined, less forgiving. So more forgiving in terms of better onboarding processes. Going back to a lot of older classic games, you feel they're very obtuse and almost like the game's fighting you at points. So I wouldn't say they were easier. I would say they were probably more streamlined, but they've also become bloated and don't know when to end satisfactorily. That's my long, wavering political answer for you there.
I tend to find that sometimes you get story-based games like Cyberpunk, and the story I find really, really good. I get really into it, but I find the game too easy.
I think with Cyberpunk now, I played it. I did complete it, and I did play it pre-Liberty City, but after I think they patched a lot of the jank out of like the original build of it. So I think it was more playable than it was at launch. But I do distinctly remembering with Cyberpunk, I completed about a third of all the side activities, and I stopped doing the side activities and just beelined the main stories because the side activities started to feel very samey. And I wasn't getting much benefit from either in levels or gear than what I already had from them. So I just decided just focus on the main story and get that. I did enjoy Cyberpunk. I mean, again, Josh Wright Hayes did a 3-hour retrospective of review of Cyberpunk, where basically the long story short was it's a fun action game with RPG elements, but it's not an RPG. And if you go in with an RPG expectation, you're going to be disappointed. Which I totally get, but Jesus Christ, did you get a lot of flack for that?
The problem is with the modern gaming community is everyone thinks they know what each genre is, when realistically most genres cover other genres in some areas as well.
I mean, your Guild Wars, this one, technically it's not an MMO. The second one, Guild Wars 2, definitely is. But this is more like just an online RPG. So outside of like the town hubs, all the maps are instanced. So it would literally just be a case of, say, me, you, and Tavares meeting up in town, forming a party, and then when we go into a map, it's a local instance to us. Quickly grab me a drink.
Yeah, me too. Back to it.
I'm really hoping to get to one of the actual story missions tonight. That would be good.
I'm back.
Welcome back.
My fridge is further from the chair than yours is from your couch.
All right. Well, I do have the mini fridge there. I also have the freezer, and then I've got the fridge freezer in the kitchen. So that little mini fridge that I keep all my Pepsi cans and stuff in, I've had that fridge since I was 16. I got it when I went to Scottish Youth Theatre. I think it cost... I bought it from Iceland, I think. I think it was only like 30 quid at the time. And it has genuinely lasted me half my life. So, and it's still going.
Older things do last longer than modern stuff.
I know. So which modern games are you playing at the minute that prompted that question?
Actually, at the start of this year, I kind of got bored of a lot of games. Let's have a look at what I've been playing lately.
You know what? I totally get that. That, as I said, that's kind of why the reason I bought the N64 controller was I just started playing just 20 minutes before bed. Started playing Mario 64, so on the Switch, and going, you know what? I have no nostalgia for this because I never owned it as a child, but as an actual little, puzzle platform game before bed, just dicking about in a level, poking things until something happens, and going, wait, I've just figured out that puzzle,
Yep.
As a little quick 5-10 minute gameplay loop. I'm actually quite enjoying it.
Yeah, let's have a look. Recently, I've had a run of Arc Raiders. That was quite good.
Okay, I've heard a lot about Arc Raiders. It's not one I've picked up, though.
Yeah, it's one of them that, like, survival escape shooter type thing, but a lot of folk took it as PvP, and it kind of split the community.
I've heard it's had a lot of good emergent sort of gameplay moments with
Yes,
other players.
yes, and also the robots that are essentially the bad guys, they used AI to train the motion, right? So the robots, when they move, like the big walkie ones, it looks absolutely spot on. And they sometimes do things you totally don't expect. Like, we had one of the robots that managed to crawl into this little tunnel that we were hiding in. We were like, there's no way that robot will fit. And it squeezed itself in. Um,
Shit.
Yeah, and then there's video of this massive robot called a matriarch climbing the rocket launch tower because there was folk up high trying to shoot it. And they were going, that's not supposed to do that, but
Oh,
you can see
no.
it, and you can see it
The
looking
AI
like
is
it's
learning.
properly. Yeah, that's what it was like. But the animation, how it was doing it, looked right
Yeah.
rather than janky.
Again, there's maybe one I'll pick up when it's like next on sale, I think. Oh, right. I'm making a choice here. I'm not bothering with the other professions. I'm just picking this one because I'm pretty sure I want to stick as necromancer. There we go.
Another one we played recently is the Lord of the Rings Return to Moria,
Right. Okay.
which is you play the dwarfs and you're going back into Moria.
Yes. Yeah. Didn't that get kind of panned in the reviews though?
It did at first. There was a lot of jank about it, much like Cyberpunk, but it's had a few updates.
Cool.
There's a new DLC which also completely breaks the game, so avoid that at the moment.
All right. Fair enough. Another one I was going to suggest that maybe might be one for trying to get people on is Darktide.
All right.
Warhammer, the either Vermintide, which is the Warhammer Fantasy version, or Darktide, which is the 40k version. So it's basically Left 4 Dead, but in the various Warhammer settings. So me and Dad played that for a while. So I've head swapped the Psyker in Blackstone Fortress for a Sister of Battlehead in tribute to my Psyker character in Darktide. So
that's currently got 75% off.
oh, nice. That's worth picking up if you fancy playing through that actually at some point. That might be a contender for a stream as well. So I've got, well, I had, whether they still are is probably a matter of debate because I've not actually played it in a couple of years. But I think I have max characters, certainly at level 30 for certainly all the ones that were there at the minute. I'll see if I can convince Tavares. How much is it? 75% off?
It's £8.24 for the base game.
That might be an early Christmas present or something for Tavares if we could get him on.
£12.49 for the DLC and the other bit as well with the game.
Nice. So yeah, Darktide's fun. When me and my dad first, the other one that's very janky, but it's kind of a Left 4 Dead sort of one. Are you a big 40k fan generally, or is it just a passing thing for you?
I was when I was younger,
Right.
so there is an interest there.
You know, Dark Angels, Deathwing.
Yep.
Yeah. So there's the old Space Hulk games based on like the board game that are brutal as hell. But then they released the Space Hulk Deathwing, I think in 2016 or something like that. And it's basically a Left 4 Dead style game, but with the Terminators. And me and my dad played through that at the beginning of the pandemic, and that's what got us into gaming on the regular. But the thing is, my dad was very all fingers and thumbs, shall we say, and he wasn't great at communication. So it was, I think, 3-party squads. And I usually went as like either the librarian or the chaplain. And my dad, I think he always went for the assault cannon because, not overcompensating for something. But the thing is, there was like a button that you could hot press for, I needed an apothecary. But when my dad wasn't sure what he was doing, he would just start button mashing. And we'd usually have to play with a random third person who had no idea that this was just my dad being my dad. So I remember one game we were going through and the other guy was playing an apothecary. And just every 2 seconds my dad was like, I needed an apothecary. And this guy was just getting demented as we were going through the level. Going, no, you fucking don't! So it's like...
Fair enough.
That's Brother Major Havoc. He was dropped on his head as a child. That's all he could say. Don't worry. It was a very Space Kings moment. So, Right. Accompanying Master Tungo to. Oh, right. Was I? Oh, I was being tailed by NPCs. Oh, right. Okay, fair enough. There we go. I was meant to be escorting them. Oh well. Did he have a thing above his head? No, he didn't. That's fine. Right. To do. Oh, right. We're actually at a cutscene now. I think I found the plot.
It's not like you. Usually you lose the plot.
Oh, I never had it. That's the problem.
The minister has been waiting for you. Please, you are welcome here.
Yeah, this is actually the first voice acting that we've come across in this expansion.
What is going on?
It is madness! Guards have turned on each other! Something has gone terribly wrong! It is madness, I tell you!
Madness! This is Sparta!
That's one strong stick he's got.
I know.
Come. The minister needs our help.
I love how you can always tell what rank the monks are by how advanced their male pattern baldness is.
Threatens his estate must not be allowed to threaten the entire monastery.
Master Togo, my son. He is in there.
I will look for him.
What level of monk would you be then?
Please, Master Togo. Bring him back
Shut
to
up.
life.
Only on weekends. So. No, it's not that. There was one time, whenever obviously I have the hair and everything when I'm streaming or I'm doing my dungeon mastery type things, but when I'm out, actually being, a special effects makeup artist and stuff like that, that's when I'll often revert to my, shaven head, beard. Do you know that YouTuber Simon Whistler? Oh, in fact,
Not sure. I'll have a quick look to see if I recognise him.
he's got like a million different YouTube channels. Shit, I didn't mean to do that. I didn't want to come to Bart Beach. I wanted to. So this is like the hub that you.
Oh, yeah.
So I was down at the prosthetics event, big trade show for all the FX artists in the UK. And like the head guy is Neil Gorton, he's anything that goes through the BBC or Doctor Who, he does that. There's Stuart Bray, who's like the second top guy in the UK. He's actually coming up and doing a course with us quite soon, in fact. And then there's me kicking about. And so I rock up at this trade show and I've got the shaven head, beard, glasses. Next thing I know, I bump into Neil Gorton, shaven head, beard, glasses, and then I bump into Stuart Bray, shaven head, beard, glasses. I'm like, is there an unofficial uniform that all special effects artists have just kind of like slowly gravitated towards? Right, mission map. Shit. Didn't want to be here. Didn't want to be here. How do I get back? Will you warp me back? Bounties. Vanquish. I think at a certain level, this is kind of like how you can. Okay. No, I don't want to do that just now. Fuck. How do I get back? Right, so that's the mission map. Bollocks. So she gives you quests. I seem to be literally staring up my own arse. God damn it.
Anything for the views, eh?
I know. I was saying the only reason I bought Guild Wars back in the day is because I fancied the Necromancer check on the front. What you can you?
I started a bit of a debate in one of my other chats.
Oh.
Because they've got can't mind. All that was Sansa in Game of Thrones is supposed to be doing a new Lara Croft.
Right. Oh yeah, I think I saw that.
Yeah. And I said that I'm against new folk doing remakes like that because they kind of like jelly mold the old recipe, hoping to recreate it. But because it's a new actor or actress and stuff, it never quite hits right.
So a new actor or actress trying to do what, say, Angelina Jolie did.
Yes, trying to do it like they've got the same look and everything.
Right. Yeah.
So a lot of remakes they go for the same sort of look and then they go for the same sort of movie with the same sort of look and feel about it. You know, it's like the opposite of James Bond. Because every time there's a new James Bond actor, they completely rewrite the James Bond. So the feel of the movie's different, the look of the movie's different, how James Bond acts is different.
Yeah.
And that works.
Spam bots, by the way, take a drink.
My argument was if they're going to get a new actress to do a new Tomb Raider, they should point it in a new direction so they've got a chance of doing something good.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I understand that. Right.
And it's like the whole argument where, like, recently we had a lot of makes and remakes where they kind of like forced female characters into male positions and things, like the Ghostbusters movie.
Yeah.
And I says again, that it never really works properly because usually like a story is written with a character in mind, and if you change something core to that story without changing a lot of the story, it never quite works right.
Yeah, with you.
Like I am not against female Ghostbusters.
Yeah,
but taking just the old formula and then changing one part of it and thinking it's going to do well. See, never works.
The thing is, right, I'm going to use it's Ghostbusters particularly because, again, same convention trade show I was at with Steve fucking Johnson, right? A man who looks and sounds like he's channeling Robert Downey Jr. in Iron Man. Okay, so Steve Johnson, special effects artist. He made the original Slimer. But he also made. He was also on Species and stuff like that. So, so he was doing talks and stuff at this particular trade show, and he got up on the stage and very unapologetically just went, "There is one reason and one reason alone you can't make Ghostbusters today, or in the modern Hollywood climate, and it is not, female characters in Ghostbusters." Yep. One word: cocaine. The 80s was a very different time. So,
yeah. To be fair, I think Ghostbusters Afterlife pointed in the right direction.
Yeah, I've not actually seen that one.
It's actually quite good.
Cool. It did, from what I saw, especially because they got the kid from Stranger Things, was basically Ghostbusters but Stranger Things.
Sort of. It was like the Ghostbusters lore, but it was new folk, and they managed to tie it in so they weren't replacing the Ghostbusters.
Yeah.
And that worked. Like everything feels right, because it's the kids. A lot of them is the kids of the original Ghostbusters, and it's like Egon's family is the focus of it.
Yeah.
So all they know is he was famous at one point. He went a bit strange. He went away, done his own thing. Nobody knew what happened. The whole ghost thing's kind of forgotten about.
Yeah. I did. What was it? Lost my train of thought. It'll come back to me.
Here's your reminder. Take antihistamine.
I've just started this mission, so I'll either get through this mission or I'll die, and then probably wrap up the stream. So,
The brains are out the window.
oh, it really has been. I was in meetings back to back yesterday, both at work. So basically, long story short, without going too much into it, I work obviously in Scottish colleges. I teach makeup artistry, particularly special effects, blah blah. So we're basically, it's getting to that point where shifting markets, different trends are basically looking at rewriting many of the courses and qualifications. And us being a Scottish college, we have a birthright to accredit our own courses, and I've basically been put in charge and potentially developing the special effects element of a new makeup course type thing. So that was 2 days worth of meeting and training on how to like use the guidance and stuff like that there. And then yesterday, I said yes at another meeting I was at to, yeah, sure, I'll join the Liberal Democrat South Lancashire committee. You know, how hard could that be? And then realised there was a meeting like last night till like 10 o'clock. So I was at a meeting for that as well. And, you know, we were talking about libraries, we were talking about potholes, we were talking about, you know,
Plot holes.
yeah, plot holes, you know, just in life in general, like how Trump became president.
Yeah.
That's a major fucking plot hole. Of course, the big orange maniac eventually came up, because you can't go to like a political gathering without, you know,
Yeah.
that happening. So it turns out he's not going to use force, which for the moment. So yay, maybe. Thankfully,
Did you see what like he said? He said that like
yeah.
he got a great deal and that he got everything he wanted, and then there was somebody else at the meeting and they were asked and they went, no, I never spoke anything about that.
Exactly. It's like, what now?
Yep.
So, yeah. So the world's got a bit crazy, and the thing is, right? You know, when you read, this is what gets me. When you read dystopian fiction about like the fascists taking over in the future and 1984 George Orwell type shit. The thing about those authoritarian governments is at least they're competent.
Yeah.
I mean, don't get me wrong, I don't want to be the subject of a fascist dictatorship, but, you know, if I was to be, could it at least not be the one from Idiocracy? So,
Yeah. It would be the Americans that are spearheading that one.
I know. I watched Idiocracy with the missus. Well, I'd seen it before, but it was her first time watching it, and she was genuinely quite shocked by it.
Do you know the story of Crocs with Idiocracy?
No.
Right, when they started making Idiocracy, they were looking for footwear that matched the theme of the movie.
Right.
So they're absolutely minimalistic, they're absolutely stupid.
Yeah.
Nobody would wear them, they're ugly, blah, 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 but they're dead simple to make, so that would work. And they discovered that these Crocs were like a new thing that weren't popular at the time. By the time they'd finished making the movie, they were getting popular, and then you look at it now.
Yeah. The thing is, again, ironically, friend of mine who, her old boss, I don't think he's her boss now, but her old boss, I think, like, one of his family members or something like that, was the person who invented Crocs. And I'm like, all right, okay. Although anytime someone brings up Crocs, I just think Deadpool, my big rubber masturbating shoes. So, right. Right, there's a lot of standing about in this, waiting for the NPCs to catch up. Right. But yes, if it's on sale, it might actually be worth picking up Dark Tide and seeing if we can get a group of 4 of us from the Tuesday group to do a run through. That could
Yep.
could be hilarious.
I've got a few friends that have got it. I know that.
My dad constantly played the Ogre in that game. I think it was the spirit animal. And pick that up. Thank you. Zap.
23 friends already own this game.
Wow, you have 23 friends on Steam. That's more than I have.
One type of game that me and a small group of friends like to play are like factory builders.
Right.
But me and one other friend are that like hardcore on it that we usually start with like 4 or 5 of us playing a multiplayer, and within like 2 weeks, most of them leave because it gets too complicated.
Do you watch the Spiffing Brit at all? Because
Yes.
he did one. What was it? Wasn't Factorium. It was a transport game where it was like a massive battle royale with like 150 people like doing this kind of train building transport simulator thing, and it got like really super competitive, like with people who play it like religiously. And they were like buying each other out and like crashing each other's stock and stuff like that.
Yeah. So my friend, he runs his own server,
Yeah.
and Factorio is famous for being really, really, really good for doing millions of things on your computer.
Yeah.
So you don't need a really high end computer, right?
Yeah.
With just me and him playing it, we would crash his server.
I notice a pattern in the sort of characters that you play. They tend to,
Ah,
yeah.
what?
I mean, what was it? Steve in the Vampire game and stuff like that.
Oh, that was based on him.
Oh right, yeah. Yeah.
His name is Steve.
All right, fair enough. Right, you got to open this gate, please. So I've committed to buying one of the Judge Dredd case files every month. So it's payday tomorrow, so I picked up, and I'm slowly working my way through them all. Getting plenty of inspiration. I've also off stream, which I'll maybe do a retro video on. I've been playing through Dredd versus Death. So it is literally Judge Dredd versus all the Dark Judges, and I'm definitely taking notes for what I'm subjecting you guys to.
Actually, me, Snookers or Red were talking about it the other night, and we're like, Dread, brilliant universe. The Dread TTRPG is good, but that system on what do you call it? Fantasy Grounds.
Yeah,
Oh, it's such a pain in the arse.
I know. I mean, we probably could, if you had like pen and paper character sheets, because it is just dice pools. We probably could just go back to to Foundry. Yeah, right away. And just maybe do it in the D&D system, but you just use the dice tray to roll so many d6 or whatever.
Yep. And I think that the fact that plugin makes everything bright white is rather annoying on your eyes.
I'll see. I might be able to change that. I'll have a go. But yes, I do miss the simplicity of Foundry, and also being able to play my own music and stuff as well. So, like I said, there is apparently a way for me to play music on you guys' side, but whereas in Foundry it is literally just a case of load the file onto the game and then it appears and then click play. When you've got multiple 24-minute videos of how to do it, it's like, this feels like it's more complicated than it needs to be.
Yep. It's like I've been learning Unreal 5.
Right.
making my own game just as a little like side
Yeah.
project. And it's like if you're trying to figure out how to do anything, there's that many versions of Unreal, like because there's so many tutorials. It's Unreal 5, and it's like version 5.01, and all the
Yeah.
way up to we're on like 5.4, 5.5 now. And so you try to find the right one, it's an absolute pain.
Yeah. I'm a little bit like that with Sony Vegas and my editing software, because I'm a cheapskate. I get it off Humble Bundle whenever it comes on sale. So I think I do all my editing on Sony Vegas 16. But I think like 21 was out on Humble Bundle recently, and I was like, do I upgrade for the sake of upgrading? Because the thing is, the program that I'm using just now just to edit a video works fine. So I mean, it does what I need it to do, and it would probably slow me up even more, adding in the title of where the fuck have they moved everything to.
Yep.
I mean, I think Yahtzee from Zero Punctuation famously was still using Windows Movie Maker and like a really outdated Photoshop right the way up to fairly recently, in fact, until he had to upgrade. There we go. Right. I've only died once. This has been relatively a success. I was saying on Sunday there, I was playing the last mission of the other campaign on this, and honestly, I spent all day on it. I must have tried the same level something like easily 17, 18 times. Oh, shit, I spoke too soon. Run away. But the thing is, each attempt takes you about an hour. I was so fucking frustrated. So I actually had to go on the Guild Wars Discord and go, can somebody help me? Game too hard. And someone came to my rescue within a minute.
Oh, talking about that in your N64, there was Lilac Wars, which was Star Fox 64.
Right.
There's a challenge in it where you have to complete the game in under, I think it's like 10 minutes or 12 minutes, and you need to get 100% kills on every map you go through.
On Star Fox 64?
Yep,
Right.
I did that when I was at high school. That was tough.
Right.
That took many, many weekends.
Oh, for God's sake. Well, Star Fox 64 is on the Nintendo Online service, and as I said, I have bought the the controller.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not gonna lie. Another reason where I maybe want to play them on the N64 service rather than try to get like an actual retro, get an N64 and get it up and running, is well, one word or two words: suspend points. So.
Well, there's that, and like if you get a retro console, it's harder to stream it because they don't have HDMI ports.
Well, you can. I have got the like adapters for like the Dreamcast and the PS2 that would let me do that.
I did actually see a video. Somebody's made a mod for it that natively puts a HDMI socket output. You died.
I did die. I just realised the healer died way back there. I was like, why are we getting our arse kicked? Oh, that's right, because the healer died. Never mind. So, although I've got more attribute points. So, I'll put that channeling. Anyway, I should probably. I've got a submission for one of these training modules I'm doing at work, so I should probably do that before bed. So I shall probably wrap up the stream there. But yes, we'll maybe see about getting Dark Tide on the go, and that's maybe something that maybe Snookins and Red could jump in on if they're up for it. So
I don't know if they've got. Let's have a look.
Snookins probably will. He's certainly a 40k fan.
His brothers. Oh, Snookins has got it. Yep.
Yeah, I thought he would. Be surprised if he didn't. There's also the Rogue Trader and the new Dark Heresy coming out. The CRPGs for 40k. I've managed to finish Rogue Trader. I've not done any of the DLC. I think Tavares was potentially interested in them at some point, so that could be another one. So
Snoogans has 315 hours on it.
3. Now, I played a lot with my dad. And it was like our main game for a while. So I might be able to rival that, maybe. Right, let's go to hours played. Right, well, how long has Snoogans played on it?
Just under 314.
Yeah, I think he's got me. I'm 164. So. Okay, never mind.
One of my other friends has 500 hours on it.
You know, the most I'm look on my most hours played, right? My top row, I've played Destiny 2 for nearly 300 hours. I played Elite Dangerous for about 237. Final Fantasy 14 is just behind that at 225. Dark Tide at 164. Star Trek Online was 158, and I'm pretty sure a large part of that is I had the launcher opened, but didn't actually have the game running, so that's maybe a bit of a cheat. Baldur's Gate 3 is about 150 hours. Dark Souls 2, about 140. No Man's Sky, 130. Magic, 130. Dark Souls 2, 116. Borderlands, Rogue Trader.
Where do you get them all in order?
If you go to your library and then you select sort by hours played. It tells you how.
I've got played, unplayed.
This is the game, you know, it's my library bigger than yours. What's your count of shame, I suppose?
Hold on. Refresh it back. I'm still trying to get it to sort by hours played. Got 138 games anyway.
138?
Yep.
Okay.
How many you got?
1,155. So,
Right. So when you're in your library,
Yeah.
right? Where is the sort by hour?
I've gone to the library. In fact,
Yep.
you know what? Anyone discovering this stream will be like, "What the fuck are they on about?" Right, I'll share my screen with you. So,
2 seconds till I click on it. Where are you? You are up here. Yep.
yeah,
I
there we
see
go.
it.
So, library, all games, sort by hours played.
Down there. Right.
Yeah, and that gives you what you've played and for how long.
Right. Hell Let Loose, 1,783 hours.
Right.
Scum, 731 hours.
Right.
Factorio, 565
Oh,
hours.
Jesus Christ. Yeah, okay. Yeah, that seems a very Mike game.
Yep.
Fair enough. I will pick up Factorio at some point because I know they made a big thing about that game never goes on sale either, so it's part of the business model. But yeah, I will give that a go at some stage when I've got a bit more disposable income. Right. Anyway, I'm jumping off just now. Thank you ever so much for joining for random chats and bants and all that kind of thing. And yeah. I don't know if there'll be a game on Tuesday. Like I said, Doug's got a gig, so that might be one to maybe organise something like Dark Tide or Baldur's Gate or something. So I'll get in touch with the group and we'll do that. But anyway, I'm off just now. I shall catch you later. See you later. Bye. Bye.
Steel strings scream, hear the Interrupts land in just the right